Yo, I only have 5 seconds left. I'm so pumped, bro. I really want to finish this round. Alright, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Go, go. Go, go, go. Yay, I won. I finished this round, guys. Woo. Alright, so now let's try to understand what exactly happened here. So if I hit run, and as you can see, it says a round will start at 4 seconds, and after the countdown ends, you go to the round, and here now it says round will end at this much seconds. And yeah, so every time the countdown ends, you get teleported between the lobby and the round. And today, guys, I'll be teaching you how to make this specific round system. So let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna first do the whole setup required in order for this whole round system to work. For that, we're first gonna create a part, and then I'm gonna rename this part to something like lobby part. And I'm just gonna resize it so it looks a bit bigger. And I'm also gonna change the brick color to something like red. Maybe, yeah, Parmesan or something like that. And I'm gonna come over here. This is where the round starts, right? So I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna add another part as well. I'm gonna rename this to something like round part. And I'm also gonna resize this part as well to something like a green. All right, and after creating these two parts, we're gonna create the UI by simply going to Starter GUI, right? There's this thing called Starter GUI, and under that, we're gonna be adding a screen GUI. And oh wait, what did I just delete it? My bad. So after creating the screen GUI, I'm gonna rename this to Countdown GUI. And inside of the Countdown GUI, we're gonna be adding a text label. We're going to simply put it in the center, and we're also going to change a few properties like text scaled. I'm going to put this to true, and I'm also going to change the background transparency to 1, and I'll also change the size to scale instead of offset by simply putting 0.1, 0, 0.1, 0. The reason why we're changing it to scale is because we don't want this text label size to change weirdly across other devices. So which is why we're changing this to scale, because in smaller devices this label might appear bigger than it used to be, because offset basically uses pixels while scale uses the proportions of this whole screen, which is why it's better to use scale than offset. Alright, so after creating our text label, okay, let me just rename this to countdown label. And yeah, I'm going to change the font as well to something like maybe Fricoda 1. And yeah, that's pretty much how this whole setup is done. Alright, so after creating the setup like the lobby part and then the round part and the text label, what we're going to be doing is we're going to go to server script service and we're going to add a server script. I'm simply going to rename this server script to countdown script. Alright, oh, my bad. Let me just rename this to countdown script. And now we're going to be adding two int values inside of the countdown script by simply typing int value. And I'm going to rename this value to lobby time, which basically is a time that is spent in the lobby. And I'm also going to add another int value, and that is basically going to say the round time. Okay. And for lobby time, it could be any value that you like, but here I'm simply just going to put 10 seconds, and the round time is going to be also 10 seconds, but I can put any other time you want. It depends on what game we're making. Alright, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to get the values, the time values, which is lobby time, equals script dot lobby time dot value. We're just going to get the value. In this case, it's going to be 10. And then we're also going to get the round time by simply typing local round time equals script dot round time dot value. All right, so after getting these values, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a infinite while true do loop. All right, so inside the while true loop, first there'll be a countdown for the lobby, and then there's going to be another countdown for the round as well. So it's going to be two separate countdowns that will be running forever inside the while true loop. But before that, we're going to create a function that basically teleports all the players to one position from a table. Well, I'll be explaining why we're using a table later, but for now, I'm just going to create a function, local function, teleport all players. All right, and this first parameter is going to be the position, right? The position where you want all the players to teleport. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to get the player service equals game colon get service and players. All right, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to get a table of all the players by simply typing local all players equals player service colon get players. So what this does is it basically gets every single player in the game, and it's basically going to put inside of a table. Like for example, let's say there are two players and the table is going to store two player objects inside of table. Like for example, maybe player 1 comma player 2, like something like that. Like this is how this table is going to look after you use this function called getPlayers. All right, so after putting all the players inside of a table, we're going to be using the for I comma v in pairs loop, which is for I comma v in pairs all players do. So basically what this loop does is that gets every single object inside of this table, this player table, and teleports every single player from one position to another position, which is this parameter position, right? So we're just gonna, you know what, I think it's better if we put this as position part, so I can just pass in the part and that'll be a bit easier. Okay, so after getting all the players, now we're just gonna get every single player's character by simply typing local character equals v.character or v.character added weight. Alright, so you guys might be wondering why we're doing this wait statement. Well, it's because sometimes when the player joins the game, it might take some time for the player's character to load, which is why it's best if we wait until that particular player's character has been loaded as well, which is why we're using wait. Alright, so after getting the character, we're simply gonna check if the character exists even after the wait. Like, so if not character, then we're simply going to continue and we're not going to teleport that particular player at all. The reason why we're doing is that because sometimes Roblox might take some more time than required for the player's character to load. So in order for this whole thing to not run into an error, we're simply going to skip that character and move on with the other characters or players. Alright, so after that, we're just going to put character colon move to, and we're going to get the position part, which is a parameter, dot position, right? And yeah, that's pretty much it. What we're doing is we're getting every single player from the all players table, and then we're getting the character, and then we're also checking if the character exists or not. And if it doesn't exist, we're simply going to skip the player and not teleport that particular player at all. And after that, if the character does exist, we're simply going to teleport that character from their initial position to this position bar's position. All right, so after creating the function that teleports all players from one point to another, we're going to create a while true do loop. While true do loop, we're creating this because we want to have two separate countdowns for the lobby and for the round as well. And that should happen infinitely without any stopping point, which is why we're having a while true do loop. Okay, so inside of this while true do loop, we're going to first control the lobby's countdown. For that, we're going to be using a for loop by simply typing for I equals lobby time, which is 10 seconds in this case, comma 1, comma -1 do. So basically, in this for loop, the value of I is going to keep changing from the lobby time. So first, I is going to be 10. And after that, I is going to be 9. And I is going to be 8, and so on. So this is the start value. This is the ending value. And this is going to be the step value. And in this case, it's going to be -1 because the value keeps decreasing. The value of I keeps decreasing, which is why we are using -1 as the step value. All right, so after that, we're going to put a task.wait1. Because the reason why we're doing this is because we want to wait 1 second after every time the value of I gets changed. Okay, so here what we're going to be doing is we're going to create a remote event by simply going replicated storage. We're going to click on plus, and no, not a folder, a remote event right over here. And we're simply going to rename this to Countdown Sending Event. Well, the reason why we're creating this event is because we want this number, the countdown number, to keep updating on this text label right over here. And in order to update text labels, you need to do this locally. You can't really do this in the server. Well, you can, technically you can do that, but it's just not fast. Like the updation might take some time. And also, if the game is lagging, the countdown will also start a lag, which you probably don't want, which is why we're going to create a remote event and we're going to fire it to the local script of all the players. Okay, so here we're just going to get the remote event by simply typing local countdown sending event equals game.replicated storage wait for child countdown sending event. Well, we're putting this wait for child because sometimes remote events might not load immediately, so we're waiting just in case. And here we're simply gonna fire this remote event, just countdown sending event, fire all clients because we want this text to be updated for every single client. In other words, every single player. And here we're gonna send two parameters. One is gonna be the countdown, which is gonna be I, and the other is going to be at what place this countdown is happening. We want the client to know that as well. So for example, the countdown is for the lobby. We're simply going to put lobby over here because this is going to be your second parameter. All right, so after creating this for loop, and every single second we're sending the count to the client by using this remote event. And yeah, that's pretty much it about this part. Okay, so now we're gonna go to a local, so we're gonna open a local script under the StarterCharacterScripts, and we're gonna rename this to Countdown GUI Manager. And we're also going to get this exact same remote event inside of the client's local script as well. We'll just copy this line and paste it over here. And we're also going to get the local player. We simply type local player equals game.players.localPlayer. All right, so after getting the local player, we're now going to get the countdown GUI. We're going to keep updating the countdown GUI. All right, so here we're going to type countdown sending event dot on client event colon connect function, and the parameter is going to be the countdown. We'll just put count over here and comma place, right? So these are the two parameters which we initially put over here. So this is the count and this is the place. We're sending the count and the place to the client of, the local script of every single player in the game. And that's what emote events are about. You use emote events to send things from the server to the player locally, and that is why we're using the remote event to update this text, because it's usually best to update UI locally than in the server. All right, so after that, after calling the event in the local script, what we're going to be doing is, okay, so you also have to get the GUIs right over here. We want to get the countdown GUI by simply typing local countdown GUI equals local player dot player GUI colon wait for child countdown GUI, and we're also going to get the countdown label by typing local countdown label equals local player, oh wait, no, countdown GUI dot count label. And yeah, after getting this label, we're going to change the text, right? But first, we're going to check the place. So in this case, okay, so if place equals lobby, right? The place is in lobby, then we want to update the text based on where you are. So in this case, if the players are at the lobby, we want to change the text by simply typing count down label dot text equals, we're going to put what can we put? Or we'll just put it as round starts at, and we want to put a space, we're going to concatenate the string and we'll put count and concatenate one more time and we'll put seconds. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're basically changing the text of the text label for every single player in the game by using this particular remote event that calls every single second in this for loop. All right, so right now, if I hit run, you can see it says round starts at this much seconds. And yeah, but we only added the round starting countdown. We didn't really add the round ending countdown as well. So that's what we're going to be scripting after this part. All right, so now we're going to go back to the server script. And now what we're going to be doing is we're going to teleport all the players. Like so right now, after the countdown ends, we want every single player to teleport from the lobby to the round, right? So we're gonna come over here and call the specific function we created a while ago. So here we're just gonna put teleport all players, and we're gonna get the position, which is gonna be the round part's position at this part's position, because we want to teleport to this particular part, and we're gonna put the round okay, so workspace dot round part dot position. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We've teleported all the players from the lobby to the round. All right, so now I'm going to create another for loop after the round ends, right? So you want two for loops, not just one. So here I'm just going to copy this for loop, and I'm going to, oh, my bad. And then I'm just going to paste it over here. But here, this time, it's going to be round time, not lobby time. And I'll put this at J just to add more uniqueness. And here also put J as well. However, here we want to change the place to round, right? We want to change this to round because we want to change the text label depending upon where the players are at. So yeah, which is why we're doing this. And after, okay, so after the round ends, we also want to teleport all players back to the lobby as well. So we're going to put teleport all players function and workspace dot lobby part dot position. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I'll just put a task.wait after teleportation, just in case we want the game to process a bit. So just put task.wait and I'll put it over here as well. And yeah, that's pretty much what the whole script is about. This is how this whole round system is going to work. So now if I hit play, oh yeah, guys, I forgot to do one more thing. We're supposed to now go to the local script, and we're also going to check if the place is round, right? So here, if place equals round, then, and here we're going to put the exact same thing, but we're going to change the text a bit as well. So I'm going to put round ends instead of starts. So I'm going to put round ends at this much seconds. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You could put whatever text you want here, but I'm simply going to put this because it looks kind of simple. Okay, so now if I hit run, now as you can see, it says round starts after this much seconds. Oh, okay, I think I made a slight mistake over here. Just a second. Oh yeah, this should just be the part because initially I put the parameters. No, wait, no. Because the parameter is a part, not a position, not a vector3. So that's the only mistake I made. Let me just change this to a part as well. Just do that. All right, so now if I hit run, this should definitely work. Okay, so it says round starts at this much seconds. 3, 2, 1. And yeah, I start getting teleported right over here. And yeah, this is how a basic round system works. And I also get teleported back. Alright guys, while this is a pretty neat way to understand or script how count systems work, there's just one small issue when it comes to scripting count systems like these. Because, for example, let's say I'm hitting play, right? Let's say I'm hitting play. And now, let's say I'm going to the round, right? And while I am playing this round, let's say a new player joins the game and is waiting at the lobby. Well, if the round ends, you don't really want the players at the lobby to teleport to the lobby part as well. We don't really want that. We probably don't really want that, but the only issue is that in this script, it teleports every single player in the game to the lobby part and to the round part and vice versa. And we don't exactly want that. Like, if the player gets teleported back to the lobby part, we don't want the players who are at the lobby to teleport to the lobby part at the same time. So we're gonna try to avoid that particular issue from happening. Alright, so here in order to change the script logic a bit, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna go to the countdown script, and instead of teleporting every single player from the round, not from the lobby, from the round to the lobby, we only want to teleport the players who were in the round to the lobby, not every single player in the game to the lobby. So how do we do that? What we're gonna be doing is here we're gonna create a table called players in round, right? We're gonna create a table called players in round, and yeah, this is how it's gonna create an empty table called players in round. Alright, so after creating this empty table, what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually insert every single player inside of this table called players in round. So how do we do that? Well, so after the countdown ends, right? After the countdown ends, we're going to insert every single player in the game to this table by simply doing for I comma v in pairs, and here we're just going to put game.players colon get players and put do, or we'll just put player service over here, players. Oh, it's not here. Okay, we'll just put game.players. And inside of here, we're just gonna insert every single player in the game into this table, which is table.insert players in round, which is a table. There are two parameters for this function. The first parameter is a table, and the second is the value that we're going to insert to the table. And the second is going to be v, which is the player. All right, so now after that, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to add another parameter for this function, which is going to be the table of players, right? Table of players that we want to teleport from this, from one position to another position, right? So we're going to have two parameters. And here, what we're going to do is we're not really going to get this. We're going to delete this table, this all players table. And here, we're going to put table of players over here. And that's how I'm going to change this function. We're going to have two parameters instead of one. All right, so now after doing this function, what we're going to be doing is after inserting all the players in this specific table, now we're going to teleport all the players from the players in round. So here we're going to put, the first primary table of players. So here we're going to be putting players in round, comma, workspace.round part. Because initially this table was empty, right? But after the countdown at the lobby ends, we're inserting every single player at the lobby to this specific table called players in round. And after inserting all the players in this table, we are teleporting all the players because the first parameter now is a table of players. This is the first parameter. And the players inside this table of players will teleport from the lobby to the round. And yeah, that's what's happening over here. And after inserting all the players in this table, we're teleporting all the players from this table, all right, from this table to the round. And that's what's happening over here. All right, so after teleporting, now what we're going to do is at this countdown, after the round ends, we want to teleport all the players from the players in round. So players in round, comma, workspace lobby part, and then we're going to clear the table, right? So if you put table dot clear, we're going to put players in round. So what this happens is that every single element in, or every single player in this table gets removed and the table becomes empty like this. So yeah, to recap all of this, we're doing the countdown. After the countdown, we're inserting every single player in this table called players in round, which is right over here. And then we're teleporting all the players. I mean, initially there was only one parameter, but now I made it two parameters, which is the players in round, right? So after teleporting all the players into players in round, and then after the round ends, instead of teleporting every single player like we initially did, initially it was every single player, but now it's just the players who are in the round who are being teleported to the lobby, not every single player in the game. And that's the only difference. So now if I go and hit run, all right, so yeah, so after the round, and yeah, let's see if the teleportation is happening correctly. Okay, round is okay. I should have reduced the countdown a bit, my bad. 30 seconds is a bit too much. Okay, go. Because after 10 seconds, you will basically teleport back to the lobby. Normally, there won't really be much difference. And yeah, everything works as normal, except the fact that only the players who were in the round get teleported back to the lobby instead of every single player being teleported back to the lobby. Alright guys, thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I really hope that this video gave a pretty valuable insight as to how round systems work in Roblox Studio. And I'll see you guys in the next video.